What's up, guys? This is Aiden, Bandwagon Sports, episode 5 of this podcast. This episode is my preseason top 25 college football teams. Um, this list is based off of the research and my personal opinion on all of these teams. I feel very confident in this list because there's some teams up here that I have lower than a lot would or higher than a lot would based on how much I honestly like the team. And like I said, this is my top 25. This isn't based on anybody else's. This is mine from my opinion and my research that I have done. We're going to be good. So 1 through 10 are teams I'm going to talk about and go into depth and why I put them where I put them. And the 25 through 11, I'm just going to list them off because it would be like a 2-hour long episode if I went into detail about all of these teams. And I don't have the time right this second to go through and explain all of these teams. If you guys would like me to go through an in-depth with 11 through 25, let me know. And I will make a follow-up episode, probably post it on our YouTube. But I'll make another episode or another video explaining the other rankings. So my 25 through 20, going from lowest to highest, I have Tulane at 25. The success that they had last season was incredible. It surpassed what everybody thought for Tulane. It surpassed everybody's expectations. Nobody except the dudes in that locker room thought that they were going to go, what was it? They didn't think they were going to win a New Year's Six bowl game. I guarantee they didn't. My 24 spot is Mississippi State. I love their offense. I know Mike Leach isn't there anymore. RIP to him. But I still love their offense. I love their team. And I think they're going to be a pretty decent program. Next at 23, I have Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a team in the past 2-3 years I've been really high on because I love Sam Hartman and I love what he's doing. But with him gone and with him just not being there, I don't think they're going to be able to put up the same production. They're not going to be able to compete the same way they have been the past couple of years without Sam Hartman and without a true number one star quarterback. At number 22, I have Notre Dame. Notre Dame, if you've listened to the other podcast episodes, you already know the most overrated program in college football right now. They always get put so high into rankings just to disappoint and let everybody down. They don't ever win big games. They always choke, and they can't win them. At number 21, I have UCLA. UCLA losing Dorian Thompson Robinson and Zach Charbonnet. They're two best players on the offense. I don't see them. I mean, they're going to be good. They're going to be top 25 good because they've proven to do that for the past 4 or 5 years. But they aren't going to be top 15, top 10 like they have been. Number 20, I have South Carolina. South Carolina is a team who I'm really high on. I expect them to win 9-10 games this season. They have a really solid team, really solid roster. Got a lot of dudes on that team. Some I know personally, and they from the things that I've heard, that it is crazy how much this South Carolina team has improved under Shane Beamer. At 19, I have Pitt. And Pitt, the past 3 years, has been a top 20, top 15, top 20 program. They win their bowl games, or they've won their bowl games. They've had consistent quarterback play for the most part, or consistently average quarterback play. They're bringing in a new quarterback to hopefully be better than Keaton Slovis, because I hate Keaton Slovis. He has never been a good quarterback in my opinion. But I think they're going to be better than they were last season. And at 18, I have Ole Miss. Ole Miss, they have 3 quarterbacks who are all worthy of a starting spot on a college football roster. They have, what was his name? It was the dude from LSU. They have Spencer Sanders and Jackson Dart. Spencer Sanders is a senior. I don't understand why he would go there, but that's a different video for a different day, maybe. But that's that. And at 17, Oregon State. Oregon State has been trending up the past 4 or 5 years. They have been doing nothing but trending up. Good recruiting classes and they just put together good teams. I like Oregon State a lot, and I like the program that they are building over there. And at 16, I have K-State, Kansas State. They won the Big 12 last year. I expect some of the same success from that team, even though they're losing a big star in Deuce Vaughn, losing a big star on that offense. They're losing some talent in other positions, but I still think that they are going to be a really solid program, especially in the next couple of years. At number 15, I have Clemson. And Clemson is a team who I've always liked Clemson. I never hate on Clemson, but the past couple of years they have just been trending downwards. Dabo Swinney, he's coaching in the past. He's not staying up with the time. He's not keeping up with it. And Clemson is slowly falling down that list. I hate to see it because Clemson has been a good program, one of my favorite programs to watch the past couple of years, but I just can't put them any higher than 15. At 14, I have UNC. UNC, Drake May, he's going to be a Heisman candidate. We already know this. Top 5 overall pick in the NFL draft. Great player. He's going to carry UNC just like Sam Howell did a couple years ago, except Drake May is 10 times better than Sam Howell will ever be. Drake May is going to carry this UNC team, despite losing their best receiver that I've seen them have in Josh Downs. They're still going to be a crazy good program, especially this year with Drake May being in the Heisman contention. That's the word. As long as Drake May can continue to perform, UNC will not have a problem, especially in the ACC, which is the weakest conference in all of football. At number 13, I have Oregon. I love Oregon. Oregon is probably my second favorite program in all of college football. I love them to death. I can't really say anything bad about them because of how much I love them. But Oregon, they're not as good as I would like. Their roster isn't as good as I would like them to be, so I can't really put them any higher. At number 12, Texas, Quinn Ewers. They have a new transfer, Donnie Mitchell. And they have who is there? They have a receiver. I forget his name, but they have a really good receiver, Donnie Mitchell, another really good receiver, Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning. They have a very solid defense, and I like them. I like them to win the Pac-12 this year. I like Texas to win the Pac-12. They're more of a I need to see it to believe it team because I haven't seen Texas have that success that they are expected to have this season. But I just need to see them win, and I need to see them to put them higher than what they are. At number 11, I have USC. very much like Texas. Crazy offense, explosive offense, crazy firepower. Their defense, very subpar. Horrible. One of the worst defenses I've ever seen. Lincoln Riley, one of the worst defensive coaches I've ever seen. USC, another see it to believe it team. I need to see their defense play good for me to put them any higher. Even for me to put them in the top 10, their defense needs to be better. Just they need to be a decent defense rather than an abysmal defense. At number 10, and this is where I'm going to start actually talking about the teams. At number 10, I have Utah. Won the Pac-12 last year. Lost to Penn State in the Rose Bowl game. Utah, I love the Utah team. I love what they have been doing the past couple of years. I just love Utah. And I love their quarterback, Cam Rising, one of my favorite players to watch. He's so tough and he's so gritty. I don't understand how you couldn't like him. I don't see how you couldn't enjoy watching him. And their team is just an all-around team. They have a good defense and they have a pretty good offense. They just lost Kincaid to the draft, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure. It was like Dalton Kincaid or something like that. Yeah, Kincaid lost him to the draft, but their recruiting classes are pretty good. They have a really good team, and I just absolutely love everything about that Utah team. At number 9, I have Washington. Washington, Heisman, in my opinion, Heisman contender quarterback. Michael Penix, one of the best quarterbacks in the game of football right now. Their offense is incredible and was one of the best, if not the best, stat-wise in college football last season. Their receivers are amazing. They love the deep ball. They won their bowl game. They're trending in the right direction right now. I've always loved Washington, and Washington this year is a top 10 program for me. I need them to win games. Their defense, I love their defense. Their offense is outstanding. I need them to win games because I could put this team higher. I could, but I haven't seen success out of them. I haven't seen success against top opponents. I haven't seen big game success out of them. I need to see it to put them any higher. But at number 8, I have Florida State. Their returning quarterback, Jordan Travis, a great quarterback, outstanding quarterback, most likely to be a Heisman candidate as well. Florida State is the best team in the ACC. Nobody can tell me otherwise, and there's no way you put any other team over Florida State right now. Florida State is a dark horse team, in my opinion, to make the college football playoff and to possibly win a game or win it all in this coming season. Florida State is going to make a New Year's Six game, and they are going to win between 11 and 12 games this season. I don't see how they couldn't. Their team, their roster is just so good that I don't understand how they could not win big games like that. And at number 7, their week 1 opponent, LSU. They have such an incredible team. I love everything about their team. They didn't lose a whole lot of talent. Jaden Daniels, one of the best Again, one of the best quarterbacks in college football. I love this roster, love this team. There's nothing bad that I can say about this LSU team. They have a ton of talent. They are crazy good, and they are a sneaky team, in my opinion, to win the SEC. They have the dudes to do it. They have the recruiting classes. They have returning guys on the team. I love the LSU team. Love them to death. That's why they're at 7. That's why they're as high as they are. At number 6, I have Penn State. Penn State is okay. When I said Oregon was my second favorite team, was my second favorite program in college football, I lied. It's Penn State. Penn State is one of my favorite teams of all time, especially this team. I'm always really high on Penn State because I always expect whether it's Sean Clifford or Trace McSorley to have good games and show up in big time moments, and neither of them do. In the Ohio State game and the Michigan game, Sean Clifford did not show up. However, their team is pretty good all around. Great offense, great defense, and the best quarterback that I've seen come through this program is going to be making his starting debut this season, week 1, Drew Aller. Mark it down on your calendar. Drew Aller is going to be the best quarterback in Penn State history. At number 5, I have Alabama. Alabama, this is a program that is way too good for me to put any lower. They're way too historically good to put any lower. They haven't lacked in recruiting. They haven't lacked in really anything. But right in this very moment, based off of last season, based off of their recruiting classes, and based off of the dudes they're bringing in, there's no way I could have them in the top 4. There's no way I could have Alabama in the top 4. Their quarterback play it's not there. There's nothing there. There are 0 talented quarterbacks on that roster, and there's nothing you can do to tell me otherwise. And again, on their offense, there is not a playmaker on that offense that you can tell me is going to give them 100 yards a game, a touchdown or 2, and be a difference maker on the offensive side of the ball. Some of their defensive guys love the defensive. I love the defense. I love Alabama's defense. Every year, it's always amazing. But there's not enough offense for me to put them any higher. They're especially not in the quarterback position, which is a place Alabama is very not used to being. They're not used to scrambling around finding a quarterback, but that is what they're having to do right now. Number 4, I have Ohio State. Again, not a for sure starting quarterback, much like Alabama. Quarterback battle this offseason. I haven't heard a lot about it. I'm assuming it's not going as bad as Alabama's is, because I haven't heard people panic. I haven't heard people talking about how bad the quarterbacks are or how not developed the quarterbacks are at Ohio State. No matter what, Ohio State is always going to much like Alabama, Ohio State is always going to have a great team, and they're always going to be a top 8, top 5 team in the country. At number 3, I have Tennessee. Tennessee is a team I've been very high on every year, or last year, the year before that, the past 3 years. I've been extremely high on Tennessee. I love what Josh Heupel's doing. Yes, I love what Josh Heupel's doing. I love what they're doing and what they're building in the program. They have a ton of returning production. Brew McCoy, one of my favorite players to watch in college football. Uh, their scheme and their plays are unlike anything I've ever seen. They are insane, and they just brought in the number one quarterback in the class, and they're going to have a field day in the SEC East because there is no team other than Georgia who can even compete with them in the SEC East. At number two, I have Michigan. There's not a whole lot to say about Michigan. They're essentially the same exact team from last year. They lost Mozzie Smith to the NFL. They, but again, that's not he's again a great player, but that's not a ton of production that they are losing. The lineups aren't changing very much. There's nothing going on. They're recruiting at a high level, but they're not losing anybody because all their dudes are young. This year is Michigan's time to be who they need to be. This is a prove it year because they flunked out the last 2 years, but this is a prove it year for Michigan. They need to win games, and they need to win. Mark my words, when they make the college football playoff, they need to win that semifinals game, or John Harbaugh is going to be in the hot seat again. Or is it Jim Harbaugh? I don't know. Coach Harbaugh is going to be in the hot seat again. This program has flunked out of the playoffs the last 2 years, played absolute poop games in the playoffs. They need to win the college football playoff game that they are going to be playing in. Number one, everybody expected it. Nobody didn't expect it. Number one, Georgia. Georgia, arguably the best roster in college football. There's no doubt in my mind that Georgia should not be the number one program going into this year. They have in the 2020s, they've had the best record out of any team in college football. They're no doubt the best team right now in the game, and there is nobody touching them, and especially with the schedule they have. And they were supposed to play Oklahoma this year, but because Oklahoma is joining the SEC or somebody said no to the game because they're about to be playing a whole lot. But Georgia is going to go. Their only real opponent is Tennessee, and it's at Tennessee, and I don't expect it to be. Georgia's going to win. Georgia's going to win out. I don't see them losing more than 2 games, more than 1 game. I don't see them losing more than 1 game if they lose a game. Georgia is just they've been recruiting at such an incredibly high level. There's nothing bad you can say about this Georgia team the past 2 years. The past 2.5 years. Because we lost 2 games to Florida and Alabama in 2020, which that year really doesn't count anyways. And then we won out the rest of the season, and we've only lost to Alabama since. And it was one time. Back-to-back national champions, looking for a three-peat. This is the best team in college football, without a doubt in my mind. Nobody can tell me otherwise. That is my list. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to go follow the YouTube. I'm going to try to pump out more content on there. But these episodes are also going up on the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and follow our Instagram, both at Bandwagon Sports. We're going to be trying to pump out as much content as possible. in these next couple weeks because I just wish need content. Help support the channel. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. And maybe, share it to a friend. Help us grow. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. See ya.